Welcome, 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 everyone,
Hold
to
on, everybody.
another wonderful live episode of VPR Radio on Thursday morning. It's your girl, Qianathegoddess. I'm here with my incredibly handsome and dapper, very talented partner, DJ FMi. How are you, partner?
I'm feeling good, VPR. You know what I mean? I'm hearing myself extra loud in my headphones right now, so I'm
Oh,
getting
yeah.
used to that. I'm not gonna lie about that, VPR. But I'm feeling good. It's a rainy day here in New York.
It is.
The world's crazy, but it's always crazy, and that's why we bring love and light here at VPR every Thursday when y'all tune in at 11 a.m.
Period.
Yeah, Kiana, how are you feeling?
Oh,
We're just
oh,
like the Libra scale because you know our
here
birthdays
I am
are
with
coming
my
up.
Libra scales trying to balance shit out. That's how I feel.
You and me both. I just feel like I don't know what it is, VPR, but I'm gonna give y'all a little insight into my life. All right. My birthday is approaching. I am not gonna tell y'all how old I'm gonna be. I never do. But so
Keep
my
it.
birthday is approaching within a few weeks. And I feel like every time we get near it, things start to go awry in my life. So
You know
when I
how.
know my birthday is coming, I save a little extra money because I
Yeah.
don't know. I feel once it gets to like 3 weeks out VPR for my birthday, things just go left. Bills come out of nowhere. You get a parking ticket
Partner.
for 115 out of nowhere that you just gotta pay.
Sales. Oh my God.
So and for the people that do pay attention to like horoscopes and things like that, um retrograde is a thing, man. And me and Kiana was talking about it right before we got on air, and it is too funny. It is too funny.
It's like not funny, ha ha, funny, but funny like
Yeah, you know the one that breaks your soul, and you
yeah,
just gotta
you
look in the mirror and laugh.
got
This
ooh.
VPR, this the month where I come home and be like, you know what? Let me have a little cup of wine. That's what this retrograde is doing. But other than that, how's life, Kiana?
Well, in response to that, you have your little cup and I have my great big glass of wine. Okay. But yeah, I completely understand. I agree with you completely, partner. I mean, we really are one and the same, like the male female version of one another. Every single time the middle of September hits, shit starts going left. And now plus we're in a retrograde. Retrograde was in Virgo, and I think it moved into Libra today. Remember, I told you it's in our sign, so we feel it a lot. Like the first day
Mhm.
of retrograde, I almost lost my phone, almost left it at Staples, and I ran back in, and it was right there. I was like, oh,
Um,
okay,
I have so many events and so many people calling where it feels like my head is everywhere. I'm running to just editing, VPR, then from doing that to shooting a video, then from doing that back to editing and getting ready for a show or a wedding or a concert. So I've been all over the place, and it's just like I'm just really on top of myself and remembering everything
I
because
get
this
it.
is not the month for mishaps.
Yeah, this is definitely not the month or the time for mishaps. For you guys that are watching on Instagram, I appreciate you definitely trying to go live more. You can also join us live on Facebook. We're streaming from our VPR Radio website, www.vprradio.org. But yeah, partner, retrograde is definitely a thing. I was having this conversation with somebody yesterday, and they were like, "Oh, you believe in that stuff?" I said,
That's
"Let
what
me
they
tell
said to me, and I'm just like, you know what?
you
Why
facts,
wouldn't I?
facts."
If they telling me aliens is real, and they if you didn't see that post that's actually online that's floating around right now, I think the military actually said they have way more videos of aliens, but they don't want to release it in order to cause any kind of
Yeah,
mass hysteria. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
And I feel
I
like
think it's
since COVID, all of these things that the government has been telling us, things that have been happening. You turn on the news, what has happened with our last president Trump. If you turn on the news, that man has so much legal battles that he is going through right now. I just feel like COVID happened and the world has just went upside down.
the world
Everything is normal.
feels
Nothing
it
is.
feels like you've been shaken upside down, like changes coming out your pockets type. You
I,
know what I mean?
I
That's
feel
that's
like I done grown
yeah,
10 years of my life. COVID hit. I feel like I feel like most people matured so much because we had to during these hard times, and it's not getting any easier. But all you could do is sit there and smile and try to brighten somebody's life.
absolutely. I mean, I for one, no matter what, I'm grateful. The last 3 weeks have been like a strange balance of like peaceful and enjoyable, but at the same time like tumultuous. So it's weird, right? To have both of those energies, but
Mm-hmm.
that peace comes from within me, and because I've been able to find that peace and really truly find the gratitude, there's certain things that no matter how pressed I am, I just cannot allow them to break me down, like, and we all have our moments, but I just want to encourage anyone, because look, we're all going through shit, right? We're all human beings. We have obstacles in our lives. Whatever you're going through, take the time to give gratitude and focus on that gratitude. Because when you focus on the negative thoughts, the law of attraction, you're putting those negative thoughts out, it's going to say, oh, negative thoughts? Sure, we'll throw some more, especially when you're already experiencing negativity. And another thing is, when you're experiencing those bouts of negativity, you have to have that accountability where you look around and say, okay, what am I doing that's attracting this to me, right? Because we're only going to attract whatever we're on the frequency of. And I think a lot of people dispute that because they like to say, like, woe is me, or play the victim. But you have to think about a victim mentality is going to attract that person that's going to oppress you so that you can be the victim. You understand what I'm saying? So it's moving from that, and it's growing. And like you said, with COVID, I, for one, have, ascended so much, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And, I'm very protective of that energy, and I'm very grateful to be in that energy. So no matter what is thrown up against me, I'm going to be like, all right, take the hits and keep on chucking, because we're warriors out here. So stay strong.
If I got to take the hit, Qiana, I'm throwing it back. That's how I'm living life nowadays. You know what I mean? It's so dangerous.
And I'm ducking most of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trained martial arts for nothing.
Well, Qiana, just getting back on the hip hop tip, if you listen to Future.
Do I listen to Future? Or do I know about Future?
All right. Do you listen / no?
He featured in some songs in some of my music on my playlist. Yeah, sure.
He's going to be featured in a lot more movies coming up. Future just sold his catalog for estimated 65 to 70 million. Nice. And it's becoming, what I'm starting to notice is becoming more of a trend. Justin Timberlake, Prince already did that. A lot of the older acts sell their catalog. NBA Youngboy has just sold his catalog.
That's interesting.
And what I'm starting to see is, when I spoke to some of my people that do work at the label, they're looking at it as they say roughly it takes 4 to 5 years to build a catalog. It has to go over a certain amount of songs.
Sure.
And with the rate that the new artists are actually putting out the music, Future, NBA Youngboys, they're dropping so many albums quickly that they could sell it off as a catalog quicker. Therefore, instead of, you can still get your advances from these record labels. That's not an issue. But when you sell off your pub, they're going to put it in movies. He'll get the 70 million now instead of waiting 15 years and selling it when he's not hot.
That's right.
And then nobody will come back to listen to his music, whereas if he sells it now, he could capitalize on having 70 million. They're going to sell his music to a bunch of movies and rights. So you're going to hear a lot more Future. And he's now going to put out more albums in order to get ready to sell another catalog for another 70 million to another company. So this is now like the flip that these artists are doing. And
that's a real flip.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because for so long, at least in the last 10 years, most of our hip hop pioneers, I would say like Dame Dash, Jay-Z, they preach ownership, and ownership is amazing. I always tell artists, be on your P's and Q's for the ownership. But right now, we're competing in a different time with there's different avenues to make music, money with your music.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Licensing. So if you could capitalize on making it now, whereas waiting till you get way older, like Michael Jackson, and they're arguing about selling your music years when you're gone and you're not even getting it, get it now.
Yeah, but see, the one thing with Michael Jackson was smart. He was buying up the publishing of Paul McCartney and shit. Okay.
Ooh. Just like Prince bought Eminem. I know that.
And it was the same with Prince. Like, they knew how to protect their assets, which is why they did things the way that they did. They were very, very smart artists. And I got to say congratulations to Future, because the fact that he's been signed and he held on to his publishing so he could sell his catalog says a whole lot about.
From 2004 to now, he's selling that back catalog. And he already announced he's dropping a new album. It's crazy.
That's what you do next.
Yeah.
While everybody's buzzing about you, you drop an album. So, I mean, it's brilliant. It's a brilliant business move. Congratulations to Future.
Yeah, man. I feel like, artists are wisening up. I see a lot of backlash online for people against him saying, oh, why would you sell your catalog? But if you know the business behind it, it's day and night. It's nothing to really talk about. It's nothing to discuss.
There is nothing.
You know what I mean? When you see
millions and millions and millions of dollars plus get residual payments, like, why not?
And watch how much times you're gonna hear "Mask Off" or "Codeine Crazy" when your favorite movie trailer comes up.
Absolutely.
Molly Perkins set with an explosion sound.
You already do. Like, on some real shit. I've heard quite a
Mhm.
bit. Like Netflix uses his his music a bit.
So
So
it's
at least the shows that I watch. Shout out to DJ Tech One. Are you in London yet, my love?
man, Tech One's always running around.
I
Just the
know. He
world
said
in
on
general to be
tour.
touring. Hey, that man, he's the
Absolutely.
guy.
He is the guy.
Well,
You are the guy.
another topic that had really had me just baffled. You've been paying attention to Kanye West. I know it's a lot.
Not as of recent, so no, you'll have to fill me in on the latest.
Well, other than
I
him
know about
splitting,
Gap.
yeah, I was about to say, other than him splitting with them and them stealing his design,
Right.
he's still in court arguing for his publishing because he actually sold his publishing around 2019, and he's trying to renege on that. And it's a gift and a curse. You know what I mean? When I read that just now, I was like, it sucks, but some of the rights that they sign away, they can't stop making music.
No.
You know what I mean? Because if you're giving your pub away, a part of that clause is you have to stay relevant. And by staying relevant means releasing music just so that catalog still builds up revenue.
Right.
Crazy times right now. I can't.
Yeah, you can't renege on. We talk about this all the time, right? You cannot renege on a contract. You cannot sign and then say, "Oh, I changed my mind." Like that's why it's a contract. That's why you sign. You put your signature. It's a binding, legal freaking document. It doesn't matter who you are. That's what's up, Tech One. Enjoy your video shoot.
But also with my thing with the Kanye and watching Adidas steal his design. Did you see the shoe that they released that was actually like based off his foam runner?
But we live in America. How many designs, songs, inventions are stolen from our people on a consistent?
And that's my problem. That's the issue I want to discuss, Qiana. I just feel like, it's other than Kanye being Kanye, we know his attitude or his sentiment or how he walks around. Yeah. But when it comes to his business, I like how the man carries himself. And to watch one of the hugest corporations steal a design from this black man that he's built off his name and then I'm seeing the sneakers side by side. I'm like, there's no comparison. They look the same.
Yeah.
One's a shoe, one looks like a slipper, but it's the same thing. They stole 3 designs.
But what a lot of people don't understand, and this is where, I worked in corporate fashion for many years. So from design to manufacturing, product development, I know the intricacies of designing a garment, right? All of these factories are designing the same shit for different designers, for different retailers across the board. Okay. Even for companies like Payless, who's no longer, in business.
Shout out to Payless. They used to hold it down.
Shout out to Payless. In fact, so much so, let me tell you, Payless did a spoof. Okay, I don't know if you ever saw this. They did like a fake brand launch, and they acted like they were a big designer. They took their $20, $30, $40 shoes and sold them for $600, $700. And the people came in, they were all like bloggers and fashion influencers, and they were like, "Oh my God, these are great. I would definitely pay $400." They came out buying them, blah 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 blah. And guess what? They were all those cheapy shoes that they never think about entering. But here. The point is proven just like that. Those are the same exact factories that stick Jordan on that.
I was just about to ask you the Shaq logo.
All that do the Shaq logo. And if you remember about Shaq shoes used to be in Payless. You feel me?
Yeah.
So him and Patrick Ewing. Like, let's keep it real. They started from the bottom in the terms of like retail and then raised their value up. But
Jordan wanted $300 shoes that Republicans could buy, and Shaq wanted $10 shoes that everybody could buy. So, hey, man.
That's right. And remember Starberries? I don't know if you remember that.
Yep. I had a pair.
And he was the one that really, and I pushed for it because I was like, this is all a fact. Those same exact shoes are being designed in the same exact factory, adding a different logo and then pricing it. And by the way, when it's being sold from China, the price that they're buying it at, landed duty paid LDP, which means it's going to be shipped from there, customs.
Talk about it.
Get here, right? This is all technical shit. I know what I'm talking about. Their LDP price for the box and the shoes is usually around $10 to $12. So those $10 to $12 constructed from the bottom of the sole to all of the leather and everywhere are shipped here and then sold for $300, $400, $500, $299. That is what you're getting. And the same factory that takes those $10 shoes, sends them to another like cheaper retailer. It's the same quality.
I've been wondering because have you bumped into anyone that has been like selling shoes independently? Like, you know, people are designing it. And I've come across this shoe brand that people are saying, oh, my shoe's made in Italy. I've come across 3 individuals selling sneakers, but they're all sourced from the same place. I noticed the box. It's the same box. It's the
I know
same
what you're
hard.
talking about.
You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So now that you're giving me more insight into that, can we just touch on the process? I'm like, with the materials that they use there, are people just going to the same manufacturers all of the time? Like, instead of like finding an up and coming manufacturer? Like,
Well, first of all, to understand the manufacturing business, you have to understand like breaking into being a manufacturer, you have to have had that history. You have to have contacts. You have to have the machine.
liquid cash, probably, right?
Right. So most manufacturers have already been established. You don't necessarily want to start with a brand new one because you don't know what their history is. You don't know what their profit loss is. You don't know if they deliver on time. You don't know what their quality control is. So it is actually, risky to go into business with a new manufacturer. So most of the manufacturers, they even own the other factories and stuff. They're sub factories. You'll have a garment manufacturer, but they own a fabric factory, right? And you'll buy Kiana, you, DJ FMi from VPR. We're designing. We're going to buy fabric from one factory. It's actually owned by the manufacturer. They said to us, oh, you need fabric? Let me recommend to you this one. They'll give you a good price. That's their shit. Then we're going to buy the fabric.
That's their shit.
That's their shit. We're paying for it to be shipped and everything, and then it gets sent to us. But they all kind of work together in tandem. So yeah, even if you're doing it at a different factories are constantly stealing design ideas. I've had it happen in things that I developed, and then we saw it with another consumer, and like Ralph Lauren went at a manufacturer's throat because it was a proprietary design. But see, that's where you have to have your shit in order. Get your shit trademarked, okay? Yeah, Velvet knows. She said, preach, so true. She knows. She's been working in the fashion industry just like me many, many, many years, and she has her own design line. She knows about shit getting stolen. She knows about manufacturers. She used to be a reseller
check out Velvet
high-end bags. You know what I mean? And she used to source them at that wholesale price because she knew how to get directly to the manufacturers. So it's all a game, but in just like with technology or anything else, if you're going to design something, it has to be proprietary. If you cannot trademark it or you can't patent it, be ready to make the next best thing because someone else is going to come in and they're going to knock it off.
Hey, I've seen people taking designs off Shein, and these are like notable people like are on Love and Hip Hop, and they're selling it, and people are calling them out like, hey, you're charging me like $150 one on Shein is like $25. And the fashion industry is crazy.
You don't see Fashion Nova clothes.
Fast fashion is a thing. You know what I mean? I didn't know about fast fashion. That was even a word until I would say a month ago. I'm watching YouTube and they're like, oh, fast fashion, this, that, and that. And I'm just like, I kind of like that. You know what I mean? I'm not against it, but I understand what it does on the back end of things with having clothing. And so it's a whole process.
This is a Shein dress right here. Okay. Facts. Period. Give me some points, Shein. I gave you a big up.
Kiana, before we have our guest join us, I did upload a short to our VPR on YouTube, our page on YouTube, about the PNB Rock situation. Just a quick update. PNB Rock was taken from us 2 weeks ago and slain in LA on the east side at a Roscoe's Waffles house. But what has transpired since then, Kiana, a lot of the PNB members that were a part of his crew have actually went to LA. And they're looking for the person that did it.
Oh boy!
So and it's like when things like that happen, ain't nothing positive gonna happen to that. One, you too far from home to be coming out there. You know what I'm saying? And two, it's not gonna solve anything getting him. And the LAPD is now actually looking into his murder, saying actually his girlfriend, even though she posted the location, it wasn't her. He was targeted. And they're looking into his music. They're actually looking into Atlanta where he lived and in Philly, just to find out what happened and who murdered him. So it's getting deep and intense with the PNB Rock situation, and it's sad, man. But the state of hip hop, you know?
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about that today because it's like hip hop is like a dangerous career now. You know what I'm saying?
It's a contact sport at this point. Yeah. Let's be honest, Kiana. And the elephant in the room is in hip hop, the artists say a lot, and when they stand on their words, it's celebrated, whether it be robbing, whether it be shooting, whether it be killing. And I just feel like we're not at a place yet where we're taking accountability for it. And even though we watch cases like Young Thug right now, where in Atlanta, they have all his assets tied up right now. They're repossessing everything just because, you know, that's pertaining to what he put on for bail. And it just goes to show you, you know, you can't have the best of both worlds. You can't sit there and want to be the top gangster and be one of the top performers in the hip hop industry. And it's just getting out of hand. Like, that's why I applaud Bobby Shmurda. You know what I mean? He said, I'm not going to be coming out and making no drill songs because I already just got, I'm not going to give them a reason to put me back there.
That's
He's
right.
like, so if y'all want to make fun of me dancing, do that.
To do it. But as long as you're still keeping me relevant. And again, and I will drag this because so many people don't understand the power of the words and the power of the law of attraction. The shit that you're speaking out, that frequency that you're vibrating on, that gangsta frequency, you're going to get that gangsta frequency coming back to you. It's really, people don't decipher how real that shit is. You got to watch what you speak. And look, we love to say it's all music, it's all art, but art imitates and creates life. You know, as do our words, as do our thoughts. So, yeah, definitely. Okay.
Yeah, man. Hip hop, we gotta do something better because losing all these artists when they're in their mid-20s, they're not even making it 30. That's nothing to be celebrated of, you know. So we got to do better. We have our guest here, Mike Lowry, and I can't wait to bring him up. We have so many questions.
Let's get him up here. He came. First of all, let's applaud his professionalism. He got here at 11 a.m. You understand? I'm ready to go. I was like, oh, well, actually, call time is 11:30, but we love that you're here. So professional. Hey, Mike, welcome to the show.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good morning.
Good morning. So where are you? It looks like you obviously have something going. Is that like a church? What kind of backdrop is that?
Yeah, I'm actually at a church. I can come all the way back here and show you that this is not a digital
fire.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I was about to say, I thought it was a green screen at first. I'm about to say this is the best green screen I've ever seen.
I could tell that was definitely real, and you could tell with the acoustics. Listen, you know, you can definitely tell it. So, what are you doing? Are you shooting? Are you in the middle of shooting something right now?
Yeah, I have one of my best friends has a production church where we work out of. I did some comedy in here. We shot some music videos in here. Yeah, we kicking it, chilling. Came early in the morning and came to hang out and set up, considering we had all the equipment here. So here we are.
I love it. So I know you're just coming off a lit weekend, right? You just came off stage. You're about to jump back on stage. Tell us everything. Let's start from the beginning of your career to now. Fill us in.
Oh, that's a loaded one. The beginning. Let's start with how I came about even being on the stage. I grew up in a church. It's funny. I'm in a church. I grew up in the church singing in choirs as a kid. My mom used to always put me in any sort of talent show, if you will, as a kid growing up. You know, in schools they had the talent show, they had chorus. I was in all of that, which I guess you can say got me familiar and comfortable with a stage. As I got older, I'm gonna say this is like when I'm saying as I got older, I would say 10 years old, I started developing the rap skills, if you will, and loved every moment of it because it was very therapeutic. As I developed that, I learned
can I pause for a second? He said he developed his rap skills at 10, y'all. 10.
At VPR. Y'all don't know. He said his rap skills. I listened to this man rap in a room full of people. And actually, I think you were on a stage that I actually DJ'd at when I was looking at the video. But we're going to tap into that a little bit later. But continue going, man.
Okay, so I'm going to do it in years. Let's go 10. 10, my first instrumental I ever had, I think, was No Diggity. My mom had a 100 disc changer. And I used to always, just listening to tracks. My mom always had singles of records and CDs and things of that nature. She had No Diggity. She also had, what was it? I think it was P. Diddy and Mace joint. I forget which one it was. So I'm sitting there just writing rhymes, you know what I mean? Didn't even dawn on me that I'm writing a song or I'm writing a freestyle or whatever the case. I'm just writing, I'm just having a good time. Not conscious of what exactly I was doing until I actually ran into people that was doing the same thing, which I found out my childhood friends was rapping, they was freestyling. And I was just like, damn, they doing the same thing I'm doing. We speak the same language. And that encouraged me to step out of my comfort zone of not even telling people that I rap, to telling people like, yo, we rapping, let's go. It's Friday, let's do it. It's Thursday, let's rap. Oh, what time is it? I just ate, let's rap. Like continuously doing that. I would say from the age of 10 to the age of 14, I was just freestyling off the top. Within the 10 to 14, one of my best friends from Bronxdale Projects, he lived across the street from me. We were sitting on the stoop in front of the building, and he was like, "Yo, you should make beats." And I'm just like, "What you mean?" And he's like, "Yo, you dope. You rap and you can beatbox." I didn't mention that part, but I used to beatbox too. That was because I didn't know the concept of making an instrumental. So beatboxing would be the first thing you would gravitate to convey a thought of song, right? So I was like, you know, I don't even know what that concept is, what you're saying to me, but I'm gonna keep beatboxing, you're gonna rap, and then you're gonna beatbox, I'm gonna rap, and we're gonna do this. Fast forward a little bit, let's say 14. 14, I'm already making beats off a Yamaha keyboard that my mom and dad bought me. It had like 5
I remember the Yamaha, the keyboards, but the throwback Jones, you gotta plug it with the adapter.
No Quantas. I had to be on the one. I had to end it properly in order for it to loop. So I guess that was my key lesson on how to be on time with rhythm. At the age of, let's say 12, going into 13. Once I turned 14, I had a computer that actually had FL Studios on it, which was Fruity Loops at the time, and didn't know how to sample yet. Sampling wasn't even a thought. It was just synth. I had nothing but synth sounds and stock drums, and I had to figure out how to make beats on that. So I already had the experience on creating beats on this Yamaha, so I had some sort of experience. So learned how to do that. And then I joined this group, right? I had 2 groups. There was one called MoFire, which was all the kids from my school, which was like 4 of us at the time. I went to the High School of Art and Design. And these kids was nice. I think like 2 from Harlem, 2 of us from the Bronx. And we just rapped together in school. And then I joined another group called Street Connections, which was my boy Alus from the Bronx, Elusive. He goes by Con Genius on Instagram. Heat from the Bronx. I Need Money, which he now is Fettuccine 20. He's a battle rapper. And various other few people from the Bronx, Castle Hill area. We just all rap together all the time. There's a lot of information. You said from the beginning, there's a lot of missing parts.
We here for it, man. We here for it.
No, definitely. And I think what I love about attacking it from the beginning is that not just can, we see your evolution as an artist, but it becomes something that you actually get to see and appreciate too when you step back to it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, exactly. I appreciate you asking that question. But there's some key parts I have to kind of backtrack on. One of the biggest key parts that molded me into the artist that I am today from the beginning would be a few parts. The Street Connection group that I was in, going to school with Corey Guns. We went to the same middle school or intermediate school, right? We went to IS 98 in the Bronx. And that was my other sword. If I was one sword, he was the other sword, and we would definitely be sharpened up. And he was always an excellent MC since I remember. And definitely he was one of the key factors of me being the David to Goliath when I went to high school. So I was very well seasoned as an artist jumping into high school. when I'm a ninth grader, I'm battling 12th graders and 11th graders because the ninth graders that I went to school with in my class wasn't at that level me and Corey actually sharpened up to be.
I mean, it's hard to be at that level when you haven't been, perfecting your craft at 10. You feel me? So
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. For you to be that focused at that age, that's more to marvel at. You know what I mean?
I think the focus really came to the point that we didn't have the internet. We didn't have distractions. You woke up, you went to school. Excuse me. You woke up, you went to school. My all of my every single English teacher I ever had understood that I like to write. So we always had free write time in the morning before we had our English class. So we go into class, sit down, have a composition, you just free write. So what was I doing? I was writing freestyles all day. Like just, yo, I gotta get this done. So when I get home, I'm gonna practice. Then I'm gonna go to the park and then we go in cipher. I need this verse to be done. I gotta understand this verse. So when I go, So another key factor, drag on is from my hood. He used to always be in my hood. So my main thing as a kid growing up was like, I gotta have drag listen to me. He's gotta hear my verse. He's gotta know I'm nice. So I'm always just like every day just writing, being like, all right, what's the verse I'm gonna say? Yo, what's the verse? What's the verse? And then when I used to see his car pull up in the first section in Bronxdale, I used to be like, oh, he's in the hood. All right, I'm gonna go to the building and be like, yo, drag, I got a verse. Like, hear me rap. But heard me rap because he was chilling. He's like, nah, bro, later, I'm chilling. So as a kid, he never really heard me. But that was another factor. This story is very heavily filled with a lot of characters and people. That's very interesting. All right, so let's keep it in high school real quick. After I left middle school with Corey, I ended up going to high school with ASAP Ferg, but he wasn't ASAP Ferg at the time.
Yo, you was getting around, bro. I'm just saying, bro.
Yeah.
You're having encounters.
Yo, this is the universe working, bro. Like the universe is just like putting all of these people and aligning all these people in my life. So whatever the trajectory is gonna be. I have all the tools needed to the final boss, whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? So the coolest thing about Ferg was he was never afraid to rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I always gravitated to that. I always gravitated to people. If we was on a train going from 59th Street to 125th, and we on the express train, no matter how many people was on the train, we rapping. It was like, shut up, rap, go. I'll point at him, rap. Oh, I bet he nice. All right, I'm rapping. Then my other boy come here rapping.
I love it. Y'all with the original Showtime. Showtime.
Yeah, we wasn't even asking for money. We was just into the energy of the raps that we was spitting, like, you know what I mean? So that was very important to us. So after that, another person that I went to school with, he went by Hydro, but I think he's Dromanati now. I'm not sure if you ever heard of him. He was a very important part of the high school era of the MCing. And all right, cool. We're gonna fast forward out of high school. I graduate, I go to college. I go to college for film and I study film. Went to California for like a year and I met Mr. Fab. And that was kind of cool because at this time I didn't know about Mr. Fab. I didn't know who he really was. I just heard he was an LMC from San Francisco. And so I went to the Art Institute of San Francisco, well, Art Institute California in San Francisco. And he came to the school. And I'm from New York. So like when it was like, yo, there's a famous ill rapper coming to the school, I'm like, man, let me hear this, man. What are you talking about, bro?
New York is always. I'm something about New York MCs, bro. No matter what borough you from, let me hear him. He ain't like me. Respectfully though.
I was hungry. Like even today, I'm still hungry to this day. But the hunger never changed. It just developed differently, right? So, like I was learning about the hyphy movement as I got there. Like I said, the internet was there, but it wasn't what it is today. It wasn't as connected where you can just go on a TikTok and just find something, It was like you really had to dig. Magazines were still popping. You know, you still had blogs. You still had all of these other things that could connect you, but you really wouldn't know unless you was there. So Mr. Fab came to the school, and knowing my hunger, I was like, "Yo, Fab, we need to get a cipher. Yo, we gotta get this cipher. Yo, let's do this cipher." And he's like, "All right, let's do it." And we got in the cipher, and I got to see the level up as I was, doing my thing. I guess he recognized the energy, and he was like, "Oh, all right, all right." And he started turning it up, and then I started turning it up, and then we had a great great cipher, and I totally got a chance to see who he really was and respected it 1,000,000,000%. Like to the point I was like, "Yo, this is a real MC. This is a real human." Like, you know what I'm saying? In a way where
Fire.
uh, the internet would not be able to explain how intricate Mr. Fab is as an MC and as a human.
That's right.
Um,
There's
so
nothing like that in-person like exchange of energy, right? The
right,
internet cannot. That's the one thing. The internet can do a lot of things, but it cannot replace that social aspect of an actual exchange of energy. That shit is just that moment, you know?
exactly. Um, so Mr. Fab was the one who told me about Twitter. He was like, "You need to get on Twitter." I was like, "What's Twitter? What is that?" He's the one who put me on the Twitter, and he actually followed me, which was awesome. Um, So I went from man, I almost forgot this part. This is probably the most important part, one of the most important parts of the story, right? So as you know, I already talked about growing up with Corey, knowing Ferg from high school. So I'm in San Francisco and I'm going to the school and I'm living in the dorms. Now, me living in the dorms is chaos because I'm breaking all the rules. They say no party, we having a party. They say don't do this, we doing that. We doing it. And my roommate was left brain from our future. How crazy is that, right? We in class, he's in audio and I'm in video. But I used to like do my video work and then just go directly to the audio classes because I didn't care. I do whatever I want to do. And most of the teachers knew that I was mostly multifaceted. They knew I did, music. They knew I engineered. They knew I did all that before I got there. So me hanging out in the class, just getting extra more to my engineering just wasn't. It was whatever. They was like whatever, man. Just pull up. So we in class, and Byron's drawing this stuff on this paper, and I'm like, yo, what is that? What is that? He's like, oh, this is my group called Our Future. And my boy Tyler, he designs. And
Crazy.
he's drawing
Crazy
like,
VPR. Crazy.
yo, he's drawing like Wolfgang stuff, like the cross that Tyler used to do a lot, the cats, all that was there. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, all right, that's kind of dope. Like, I like that. Um, so we didn't really have too much conversation about the odd future thing per se, but like we had opportunities to chill. Like I said, he was my roommate for like a semester. So second semester, I moved out of the dorm to another dorm because I was wilding. Um, and at this time, I had to move back to the city. I came back to Brooklyn, and soon as I came back to the city, I would say maybe like 3 months later, one of my friends that I grew up with goes, "Yo, you ever seen this guy before? I don't know his name. I think they call him Tyler. He reminds me of you." And they show me the was that the Gompers video when he's like eating a cockroach or whatever, the fake cockroach. And I'm like, I don't know who this is, but I like this. This is dope. I like this, right? And I was like, I can see why you compare me or whatever the case. And then I see the whole Our Future, and I'm like, yo, is that Byron? Which is left brain. And I'm just like, yo, what kind of world do I live? What kind of life am I living where I'm attracting
Yeah.
these people that are like sprouting and blossoming to be the people that we see
That's
today.
the frequency, right?
Right,
Like the more you
right.
put that work in, the more determined you are. And we were just talking about that before you came on. That frequency, whatever frequency you're on, is the frequency that you're gonna attract. And you
Yep.
just, how did you feel? I mean, I know that it's difficult because a lot of times, especially as successful things and people just start coming to your life like bow, 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 you can start to feel self-conscious or even, have that imposter syndrome. How did you keep yourself balanced as you continue the ascension of your career?
I think it's more about um, understanding what the limelight is and understanding what the background is. I understand like people sprout at the times they need to, and it's not. I'm not in a race. I'm not in a position of ego. I'm just here to meet people and accomplish a mission. Whether if that's me being in a Drake position or just me, just being in a position where it's humble, it don't matter. None of that matters to me. What matters to me is I fulfill my destiny as an artist to make the best music I can and to give it to the people who can hear me. If there's only 20,000 people that ever hear from me, I've changed 20,000 lives. That's more than some people could ever say they've ever changed in anyone's life. I'm not looking to have billions of followers who are blind and are zombies. I'm looking for people who are like-minded like myself that are looking for great quality life and great quality experiences because that's what I offer. So everybody else that misses it, you miss it. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
So,
That's what keeps me in a straight narrow path.
Mike, so if a listener from VPR right now goes to Spotify or wherever you stream your music, what's the first feeling they will get when they listen to one of your records?
I would have to ask you that. I'm not sure. Everyone's gonna feel something different. Because I'm not one to tell you how you're gonna feel. I'm assuming that you would be um, inspired. Hopefully, that's what I would like you to be inspired. Um, I definitely do music out of positivity. I do have some aggressive stuff, but it's not aggressive to towards anyone. It's more of a feeling of what I've experienced in my life. So I grew up in the Bronx. I grew up in the project. So like there are a lot of different type of aggressions, microaggressions, macroaggressions that you feel growing up. And I want it to be a feeling you can feel that's safe. I would say a safe feeling of understanding of coming from where I'm coming from. Whether you're from there, you understand what I mean when I say it, or when you feel it, or you understand where I'm from and you feel it, and now you understand that the struggle is real. You know what I mean? The life that we all live in these places are real. So if that kind of paints a picture without telling people how to feel or what they're gonna feel.
No, that's the fair. That's fair. Because with the video I watched of you freestyling, I was blown away by your wordplay. I watched everybody that came into the cipher, and it's been a minute since I've seen the cipher, and I pay attention to hip hop news. Now, what was one of your favorite performances? What stage have you been on where you just felt the energy from the crowd, and you just came alive?
There's a few of them. I'm gonna give you my top three. The first one is in a place called Arlene's Grocery. It's at the Lower East Side of New York City. Every Thursday, it was like clockwork. It was like church. We had jam sessions, and that's where I felt the most alive at a moment. Let's say if I did it a whole year, one whole year straight consistently, every Thursday I was the most vibrant person I could be because there were no limitations. None whatsoever. There was no, all right, you gotta come in here and you gotta do this here. And it was like we're all on stage, we are all gathered here, we're all creating this synergy of live music. There was MCs, there was singers, there was drummers, there was bassists, there were pianists, there was everything you needed, and we had every single type of energy there. And the crowd there, they were open to it all. They weren't there to see a specific type of show. They were there to feel the energy and to meet each other and to have conversation with one another. And no one was on their phones. Everybody was like so locked into what was going on in the room, not just the stage. and that was one of the best experiences I've ever had. The second experience that I like the most is when I get opportunities to like jam with like Robert Glasper or like my boy Marcus Machado and all of these like great musicians, because I'm just a rapper to some people. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm known as a musician on stage with them because I understand how musicality works, how pockets work, and I was told that like my lyrical skills are compared to a drummer. So the way a drummer drums is the way I rap with my rhythm. So with that being said, I'm able to like do a riff with a piano or do a riff with a saxophone or even just like add different patterns to a drum that's already in pocket, whether it's complicated rhythms or just really basic J Dilla boom bap vibes or Pete Rock boom bap vibes. So that's my second favorite, like hanging out with my more well established musician friends. Um, and the third would be when I actually went to Japan and I hit the streets. Like I went to Shibuya and there was a beatboxer on a corner and it just brought me back to like being in the city. And I'm like looking at this beatboxer while he's beatboxing. I'm just like, yo, he don't speak a lick of English and I don't speak a lick of Japanese at the time. And I'm just like, yo, let me get the mic. I'm a rapper. And he just passed me the mic and then we just started going. He's like, it was the craziest moment that I realized where it was like language does not matter. It's which like it's the same exact, let's say, color we were like radiating. It was the same exact thing. Like I didn't have to say nothing. He didn't have to say nothing. And then when it was over, we just understood. Like, yeah, we just did that.
Yeah, it's universal.
that.
Like it
Yeah.
speaks to, I feel like that's the one unifier for everyone. You know what I mean? Put aside all of your fears, what you feel about each other. You put on one song or one frequency of music that really appeals to everybody. Everyone's gonna stop and tune the hell in. You know.
Hey, Kiana, I see it every week when I'm DJing these clubs. I put on that Last by Burna Boy, and you would have thought everybody speak that language. I turn down the music. Everybody, oh man, your mama. They're not even saying nothing. But they speaking it though, so I get you.
Well, first of all, FMI, you need to understand that when you hit the tables, like it's a wrap. Everybody speaks your language anyway. You bring them to the floor, like it's a fact.
I
You
try my
cannot
best, just like Mike, man. Just to hear him talk and the way he views his artistry, it's amazing that there's still talent out there like this that actually care about curating great music, care about the process of curating a song, whereas, just opening up the laptop and Fruity Loops. I'm not knocking that too,
Right.
but there's a time and place for everything, especially with every artist.
Well, I feel like
Yeah.
he's capturing the true essence of the musicality. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like music is broken down into so many different genres, but it's all, again, it all comes from that creative aspect. It all comes from understanding these different components, understanding different types of music, like you said, different type of rhythms and beats and how they work. So it's really, really beautiful. We know that you have a show coming up. Before we get off of here for the day, I definitely want to hear about your last show. We just saw that come through from your
Yes.
we want to know how that was on the stage because you didn't mention that one yet. And then we want to talk about your upcoming show and let us know what else you have going on over the next few weeks.
Okay, so the first one is which one? My bad.
The stage that you were just on, who was it? FMI.
I think it was Barry Bliss. I'm not sure if it was Barry Bliss, but it was a cipher. It had a female. Another
you talking
two
about the
gentlemen.
Coast Contra show?
Coast Contra.
Yeah, the Coast Contra. Yeah.
Okay, that was a sold out show. Shout out to Coast Contra for even just bringing that energy. They brought real authentic hip hop, and their whole set, their whole curation was like straight raw hip hop. That was dope. I was there as a spectator at first. I wasn't there to like get on stage at all. And the lady that you spoke of, her name is Charm Taylor. She lives in New Orleans right now. A force to be reckoned with. I definitely say look her up. So she invited me. That time that happened was actually the NFT NYC thing that happened. So I don't know if you were tapped into like NFT NYC. But once a year, people from all over the world come to New York City, and we speak on NFTs, we speak on cryptocurrency, we speak on like the climate, we express ourselves through our arts for those who are artists, and then just share valuable information. So that's what that she came into New York City for that, and I was also there for that. So when she told me about the Coast Contra show, I was like, yeah, I'll pull up. I got the whip. We're gonna drive up there, and I'm gonna support. You know what I mean? We're gonna come through. So that everybody killed it that night. Everybody killed it that night, and they had the cipher at the end, and they was like, "Yo, we got any real MCs in the building?" You know what I'm saying? Like, who's there? Who's out? Come on up on the stage. And I was just like, "No, they did just say that." Like, I don't know, who they run into as they do these shows going, from tour to tour, but like and sometimes the real MCs don't necessarily come to the show that they throw, which was the best show that I've seen in a very long time. So unfortunate for them, but I was in the building. We was in the building. We looking at each other like, all right, it's go time. So I went up on stage. I have a documentary that I'm doing about my life. I usually throw it on YouTube every Tuesday, and one of the episodes is that one. But I went up there, and I'm just like, I gotta document this. So I gave this random person in the crowd just my camcorder, and I was like, yeah, just you gotta record this. I don't know who you are, but I'll buy you a beer after, whatever you want. Just record this. And everybody's ciphering, and then it's my turn. And yeah, I did my thing. And yeah, that what I'm saying? Like it was what it was, and we all gave each other the respect. Like, yo, you dope. No, y'all dope. No, y'all dope. Like, oh, this and that. And it was fun. It was fun. And shout out to them for having that. They sold it out. That was a sold out show. I was happy to see that. You know what I'm saying? People of color just doing what they love to do positively, and people are there to support that.
And tell us about the upcoming projects that you are working on before we wrap up the interview, of course.
Ooh, my favorite part. All right, so right now you can go on Spotify and you can get the Secure. You can listen to the Secure Ampan project on all streaming platforms. I would advise that you go to my website and actually cop the album, because I got a physical copy that comes with it, and I put it together myself with my co-producer, that boy Grant. It's an experience. It comes with a magazine, it comes with a patch, it comes with a cassette tape, it comes with stickers, it comes with a whole thing. Like, remember when you used to like buy a CD and then you opened it up when you was on the train going home, because
and you would just read it.
You couldn't wait. You got to pop it in your Walkman and all of that.
What? You went to Virgin Mega Store when it was on 14th Street Union Square, or the one on
Tower
42nd Street.
Records. Yes, sir.
You would like smell the little package. I used to smell it.
Yeah.
Smell like life. But yeah, so we kind of brought that vibe back. We brought that vibe. It has a magazine inside. Got the book. Definitely go check that out. Because it's really about supporting the artists. You know what I mean? If you support me through Spotify, thank you for listening. But that's just the surface. There's more levels to what I do. So I would say
Spotify only pays these artists, by the way, like,
cents on the dollar, you know what I mean?
Cents per 1,000 streams or so. So if you really want to, support an artist wholeheartedly, especially one as serious as this, hit his website. Is it MikeLarryDraw.com?
MikeLarryDraw.me.
.me. So MikeLarryDraw.me. Make sure you guys are following him on Instagram.
And make sure you check out his merch. Them sneakers, his merch is there. I done looked at it, so now that I know I'm getting the tape deck and all that, now I'm really inclined to get the music, because I'm like, all right, I like the merch too.
Love it.
Super fire.
Yo, so fire. Right. And tell us about your show. You have a show on Saturday, or is it tomorrow?
I got a show this Saturday, y'all, in Brooklyn. This place called Freya, Brooklyn. The tickets are on my website, MikeLarryDraw.me. It's called the Otaku Way, which means nerd way. We're gonna have video games there. I'm bringing my emulator. We're gonna be playing Hang Time. NBA Jam, we're gonna play One Combat, we're gonna play Street Fighter, we're gonna play Marvel vs. Capcom 2, whatever you want to get swiped.
I'm DJing this weekend, because I almost like you would have got in Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
You would have got it in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Okay, bro.
This ain't rap, bro.
This ain't rap,
Hey,
baby.
rap, it's a
I'm
fair
from,
game.
I'm from uptown, baby.
Okay.
I remember when you had arcades in the bodega. Come on, stop
Say
playing.
that.
In the bodega.
Don't make me pull out Chun-Li on both of y'all, okay?
No, you don't want it. You don't want it. Come, pull up. Come on this way. All right. So we got the games. We're gonna have projections. I'm gonna be playing a beat set, probably like 2-hour beat set, like Boiler Room style. If you ever seen Boiler Room, you know the biggest and the best go to Boiler Room, and it's always that vibe. This is gonna be that times 20. I promise you. I do this. You want to see this? If you've never seen an instrumental beat set before, if you never experienced just somebody just playing original beats, not DJing it. I love, shout out to my DJs, but this is an SP404. All these beats is coming directly from me. You got to experience that. Unfortunately, my boy Naga got sick, so he won't be able to perform. But no worries. I got more beats, and I'm rapping too the whole night. We might have to get a cipher going. So you might, if you're an MC and you trying to cipher, come through, pull up. Let me hear some bars. That's all I want. Ladies, bring the bars. Gentlemen, bring the bars. If you sing, bring it. Let's do this.
Well, I'm going to be in the city on Saturday, so if I pull up on that ass, I'll be capturing some footage. So
if you pull up, just be prepared to lose in any game you got. You feel me?
I'm there for that Boiler Room vibe. I've been seeing. I watch a lot of those Boiler Room videos, man.
Talking to me, Mike?
Yes, boo boo. I'm talking to you.
Only on VPR Thursdays. Make sure y'all tune in every Thursday at 11 a.m. Thank you, Mike. We look forward to just hearing your music and just interacting with your content, man. Thank you again.
Thank you for having me. God bless everybody. Good
You too. Make sure you guys go and follow him, Mike Larry Draw, on Instagram, www.mikelarrydraw.me. We appreciate you so much and wish you lots of continued success and love and light. And like I said, we'll see you on Saturday. We'll see what's up.
Later, Mike.
All right, later, y'all.
Another
great show.
VPR, the Energy's Elite. Thank you guys for tuning in and turning up on the chat. We try to bring guests that will just fulfill your heart and just give a story to you about their journey, and hopefully you could connect to it as an entrepreneur and just as a human in general. So VPR, guys, thank you.
Say, especially when we have artists of this caliber, right? I love what we do because we are constantly here. We're so pro the independent artists and the people that are making their own way and understanding the interworkings of labels and such. And I mean, you've been there, I've been there. We know what's up. Seeing people be consistent with their craft and elevate. For anyone that is an aspiring musician, I definitely suggest that you, if you're coming in now, run this interview back. There's so many gems of inspiration. This man hit a certain frequency and didn't stop. And once he got on that frequency, he just kept attracting into his vortex the people that would feed his craft. So, this is why I love what we do, partner. I could feel like this, and then I come out of VPR and I'm feeling like this. So it's a good look.
It's the truth, though. It's the truth. You know what I mean? I don't even need my coffee. Once I get in VPR, the Energy's Elite, and then we get the rolling and we get going. But guys, we will see you next week, same time, the greatest time, VPR, 11 a.m. All love. Stay great.
We love you for watching. We'll see you next week, guys. Ciao.
Later.